get like whacked in the cranium with a wave of nostalgia of something from your childhood? Well, that happened to me a couple weeks ago, and after getting my hands on my game of choice in this situation, I do have to admit, I really missed Club Penguin. Now, for those of you who live under a good old large rock, or are too young or too old to know about it, Club Penguin was a classic top-tier MMO game that launched in 2005 and was a rather big hit, amassing over 30 million accounts by 2007. To put that into perspective, there were more people with a Club Penguin account than there actually are people currently living in Texas. Yeah, that's a lot of accounts, and it makes sense now as to why that was like the it game of my childhood. The game was simply iconic for everything it had to offer for good old free dollars and nothing cents. Personally, I'd argue that all it had to offer for free topped other MMOs in my childhood, absolutely without question. And the motto of Club Penguin was basically the gist of it: waddle around and meet new friends. And honestly, you were easily able to do that while also enjoying all the cool stuff they'd add to the game every now and then. In Club Penguin, you could talk to people in the same server as you, play games by yourself or with others depending on the game, and enjoy different seasonal or event-based updates in the game, and updates in general, which added new stuff either permanently or for a certain period of time in the game. Yeah, you heard me right. Seasonal events, permanent events, as well as little short events. Club Penguin wanted to be fun for quite literally everyone. When I first started playing the game, it was in like 3rd or 4th grade. It was basically when it first launched, and we really just had the bare minimum in the game. Like, we had the coffee shop, the nightclub, clothing store, and pet shop, and a lot of other stuff, and like the bare minimum games like Bean Counters, Pizzatron 3000, Hydro Hopper. Really, it was just the bare basics. But as time went on, they added the little cove area with catching waves, the dojo with card jitsu. Basically, what I'm saying is that the people at Club Penguin constantly added to their map and added to the game without ever really taking something away. This made the game constantly entertaining and seriously interesting to see what would kind of happen next. However, the big pull for the game was in the motto itself: waddle around and meet new friends, which you were able to do through talking to other people while also getting to experience all the other fun stuff involved in the game. So Club Penguin, like any other MMO at the time, did, as I said earlier, it let you talk to people in the same server as you, and basically, as long as your parents signed off on you having the chat option, which, let's be honest for a second, we all totally checked that off ourselves. And as long as you weren't being inappropriate or saying foul words and speedrunning getting banned, you were absolutely fine and free to go about talking to people. Talking was such an appeal playing this game when I was growing up, because you could meet up with friends from school on a server and just hang out there, or just talk with random people that were maybe across the country at the coffee shop. You could also maybe meet a new friend after playing a game against them and go hang out at the nightclub. Or hey, you could even go to the pizza parlor and test your luck in the penguin dating sphere, or get severely depressed for getting rejected and wallow in your cold, empty igloo in shame and self-pity. Yeah, the pizza parlor was kinda infamous for its whole e-dating and flirting thing that would happen there, which, at the time, e-dating and flirting was basically sending a heart emoji and the other person reciprocating. Clearly, things were much simpler when I was younger, but it was also probably towards like 40-year-olds on the other side of the screen, which it's fine.
You're a victim!
But yeah, talking to people was like a massive perk in Club Penguin. I mean, I personally remember meeting up with my elementary school bestie to just, hang out since we couldn't hang out during the weekday because obviously school night. I also remember meeting some pretty cool people that probably weren't 40-plus-year-olds after like sled racing or playing Connect 4 in the lodge against the other. And it was just that simple to make a new friend. You just play a game with them, talk a little while you waited, and boom, now you had another person you could hang out with and play games with. Speaking of the games were truly some next level fun shit. Just mwah, mwah, mwah. Chef's kisses all around. They were all just such a blast to play, regardless if you played by yourself or actually played with other people. So as I previously mentioned, there were some games available on the base game of Club Penguin, and truly, they are some wonderful classics. The Bean Counter game is an absolute blast. Sled racing is truly iconic. The good old fishing game was a load of fun. I still remember when I learned that you could keep like a fish on the line at the end and catch that massive fish. I literally felt so accomplished figuring that out. Tiny little doll was ecstatic over learning that simple little trick to get a little bit more coins. Plus, there was also my personal favorite, Hydro Hopper, which to this day I'm convinced if those penguins driving were in charge of the Titanic, Rose and Jack wouldn't need to try to share a door in the middle of the ocean. Seriously, the shit that these penguins drove over puts these captains to utter shame. The game had a lot of options when it first started out, and they just kept adding more to it as time went on because it was that good of a game. To just name a few, Card Jitsu was a big fun update that was poppin' when it first came out. I remember people being so obsessed with that the minute it dropped. The little dance contest game in the nightclub was a cute little addition to the game that was just so fitting for the area it was in, because like a nightclub with a little DDR-like game is such a cute little combo. Like, whoever came up with that, massive kudos to you. That is so perfect. Puffle Rescue is a fun little thing they added to the mine, which just added things to do in the mine, which is nice because that space was pretty fucking empty. And the surfing game at the Cove, I remember that being so weird to learn at first, but once you get the hang of it, it is so fun. I remember being so stoked because I just kind of raked in coins that way. Which, another side note, this game and Pizzatron 3000 are absolute bitches to play on a touchpad. I highly recommend using a mouse if you want to actually enjoy playing these games on your laptop, especially if you want to rake in some coins. Otherwise, you'll be like me swearing up and down that you're good at this game while looking like a complete fucking idiot. Now, speaking of coins, you've probably gathered some up by now playing games, and you're probably wondering what you could even spend these on. I mean, you have a ton of them, what do you do with them? Well, after you earned your coins from playing games, you may notice that the things that you can spend coins on, like clothes, stuff for your igloo, and all that extra little shit, have a special badge symbol next to them. That, my friends, is the membership symbol, and I have a lot of things to say about this tiny little thing. Club Penguin memberships were paid memberships, which basically gave you the ability to buy clothes, igloo furniture, igloo expansions and locations, as well as some cosmetic game upgrades like a different surfboard or a different sled for their respective games. This little badge right here was quite literally the biggest middle-class status symbol when I was in elementary school. Because really, whose parents are actually spending their own hard-earned coins so a kid can spend fake coins in an online world? The practicality there, literally non-existent. So if you had this little membership, you were truly that bitch back then. Because now you could serve penguin looks and flex your fashion sense online because mommy and daddy gave you their credit card information when they really didn't have to. Or you're like me and you saved up your allowance for it, but that's besides the point. However, the memberships didn't just allow you to make cosmetic changes, they also had some actual gameplay related perks, like being able to go to areas during events that were member exclusive, and even play member only bits of games like competition and survival mode in Catching Waves or multiplayer in the dance contest. Basically, the Club Penguin membership let you do more, but was also a little status symbol of sorts that said you, my friend, are no longer a naked penguin pleb living in the equivalent of a tiny studio apartment. No. Now you could go to the clothing store, get a sweater, some nice shoes and hair, and start serving despite the horrors of the real world. Which was like math homework for me, honestly. Now you can upgrade that pre-furnished studio apartment to a luxury studio apartment. And, if the price is right, of course, turn it into a 2-floored house and live that dream of being able to afford a home that's decorated and luxurious in the 2007 and 2008 economy. Yeah, that got a little grim there, so let's take it back a bit before we get into that. The Club Penguin membership was basically every kid's lesson in Club Penguin that life is absolutely not fair. If you wanted to do more and have more fun and avoid getting made fun of by some penguins for being naked, which yes, actually happened, kids can be pretty fucking mean, you needed to dish out some real life coins for a membership. Because in Club Penguin, you were either the kid with the membership whose penguin had hair and a decked out igloo, or the kid just enjoying all the free stuff and nothing else, and that's really a life lesson to be learned. Yeah, no, that was still a little grim in a sort of social status kind of way. Sorry about that, the horrors of the real world just kind of leaked their way into this game. And sadly, we do have to get a little bit more grim because, like all good things, Club Penguin did eventually have to come to an end. In 2007, due to the amazing success of Club Penguin at this time, everybody's favorite money-hungry rodent, Mr. Mickey Mouse, bought Club Penguin for $700 million. Now, this 2007 purchase was pretty notable because, for those of you who don't know, it's time for a little history lesson. In 2007 through 2008, the United States really fucked up financial markets globally with the collapse of the housing market in the US, which then brought about the good old Great Recession, which I'm sure you've heard of, which really affected the global markets and resulted in businesses now having to reduce their expenses and investments, which then of course led to widespread job losses, which in turn led to reduced demand for products because most people were now underemployed or unemployed. Yeah, didn't think we'd get a bleak little economic history lesson in a video about Club Penguin of all things, but here we are. And I didn't just say all that to flex my massive history brain and bachelor's degree. We have to discuss this because knowing that Disney purchased this thinking it was going to make money while people are now underemployed or unemployed, it's obvious that people would have to actually start cutting costs. And surprise, surprise, but Jimmy's favorite online game that he had a membership to was most definitely the first on the chopping block over like groceries or gas. And needless to say, kids also obviously get older older, they stopped playing stuff they played when they were little, and things changed, like the rise of mobile games on top of that. And because of all this, Club Penguin may have had a very good run in the beginning, but due to declining user numbers, and the mouse himself deeming that the game wasn't making a good enough profit anymore, 10 years later, on March 30th of 2017, the servers were shut down and Club Penguin, as we knew it, was officially donezo. Except not really. Due to membership spiking because people wanted to play one game from their childhood one last time before it was shut down forever, Disney had to bring something bigger and better to the table. So the money-hungry rodent had the mobile successor Club Penguin Island created and launched the following day after Club Penguin was shut down. And, well...
He's falling so slowly, what the fuck?
Yeah, actually, what's this? This is members, I think. Oh, hell yeah. Living the life, Josh.
No, I'm actually annoyed. I fucking paid money to sit down.
Oh my god, there's so much choice. Oh, god damn it.
Okay, Big Hero 6, they're already throwing out those advertisements. I can see that over there. Don't think you can fool me.
Yeah, it clearly wasn't as well received as the original, and only after less than a year, the game shuttered down as well, bringing a complete and final end to Disney's Club Penguin. Now, with Club Penguin pretty much dead as a doornail, you're probably wondering how I was even able to get all this gameplay and how I was able to take you on this good old nostalgia trip. And, I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. Disney may have dropped Club Penguin, but fans of Club Penguin really didn't drop Club Penguin, even if it's against Disney's wishes and actually fucking illegal. Club Penguin Online was one of the first Club Penguin clones to come about, and it gained a lot of traction once the good old 2020 plague hit, peaking at 7 million registered players. Club Penguin Online was like the normal Club Penguin game-wise. However, they made an interesting and totally not detrimental decision to have mature servers on the site. If you thought e-dating and all that was pretty bad in like the base game of Club Penguin, prepare yourselves because it's about to get a lot worse. According to BBC, content filters that were designed in the original Disney-owned game, which removed offensive language, were disabled on these specific servers. This meant that people could swear, say homophobic and racist shit, as well as be anti-Semitic freely. This also allowed for e-sex to occur freely. I say freely because it actually used to be moderated out before. Yeah, I saw some shit back in the day. We're not gonna get into that right now. And people also shared personal details such as Snapchats, Instagrams, Discord info, and Zoom meetup links. Now, because there was no way to really age restrict these servers, BBC reported that kids did make their way onto these servers because, well, obviously that would happen. I mean, it's no one's fault other than the people who ran it really. The parents just assumed that Club Penguin Online was a carbon copy of Club Penguin, and neither the kids nor the parents probably knew better until the kids saw that shit. There's also reports of one of the people involved being arrested for suspicion of having indecent images of children, which, yeah, no, fuck that guy.
Right to jail, right away. Jail, you right to jail.
Because of all that, Disney issued a copyright notice, giving them a deadline to have it shut down and a statement on all that occurred on the site.
Child safety is a top priority for the Walt Disney Company, and we are appalled by the allegations of criminal activity and abhorrent behavior on this unauthorized website that is illegally using the Club Penguin brand and characters for its own purposes. We continue to enforce our rights against this and other unauthorized uses of the Club Penguin game.
Basically, in May of 2020, copyright law as well as child safety is what got this clone of Club Penguin shut down, but they weren't the only ones out there. Club Penguin Rewritten started in February of 2017 and was one I used, so I can say for certain that it was a perfect copy of Club Penguin. It did everything in the normal game, like fun little events and celebrations, and it didn't charge you for a membership. Yeah, you heard that right, membership was included in Club Penguin Rewritten the minute you signed up. You didn't have to pay anything extra to deck yourself and your Iggy out, and now every penguin could be a king. The launch of Club Penguin Rewritten was a massive success, with them getting over 10 million accounts, and the game was clearly thriving. Well, until it wasn't. Out of nowhere one day on r/Club Penguin Rewritten, people started posting about the world of Club Penguin breaking down around them in-game, which was shortly later followed by a little all-important announcement on their Discord that they gave control of the site over to London police for them to continue a copyright investigation. The day prior to this breakdown and message being eventful, considering 3 people in London were arrested regarding this. So much like Club Penguin Online, Club Penguin Rewritten was shut down for copyright. However, the mouse probably smelt out this rat because there is speculation of them actually earning ad revenue from this site. Now, this is a very weird gray area of discussion online, so bear with me for a second. A tweet posted by admins said that the ad revenue was used to pay for the servers and the rest was donated. However, that could have easily changed from the tweet being posted to the site being shut down. Users also reported that there was a feature where you could watch an ad to get an in-game gift, which I don't really remember that existing, but it would definitely make the mouse start scurrying to file copyright shit. Regardless, Club Penguin Rewritten got shut down for copyright as well. However, it also had the bonus of not lining the mouse's pockets with revenue. And that brings us to currently the last man standing. The way I've gotten my Club Penguin fix and was able to record this video, New Club Penguin. Launching in July of 2020 with a very high demand due to peak COVID, New Club Penguin welcomes you onto their site with a fat disclaimer about how you understand that this is fan-made, with public info and downloads available to the general public, and how this is not affiliated with the Walt Disney Company and how Disney is not responsible for anything here. Basically, it's just a definite way of them saying, "Hi, Mr. Mouse, if you happen to stumble upon this, please don't fucking sue." The official rules on the site are also standard Disney ones, so swearing in inappropriate language is not allowed here. And there's the bonus of having a free membership and being able to do everything like there was in Club Penguin Rewritten, from the members-only games to luxury living.
This is nice!
Now, surprisingly, this clone is still up. God only knows for how long before the mouse sniffs it out and kills it like it's killed every other clone, but for now it's been my own little personal fix for nostalgia, and it actually sets out to do what originally Club Penguin set out to do. It lets you waddle around, meet new friends, and just enjoy the nostalgia of it all, which I've definitely been doing. It's been so nice to take a little break from normal adulthood to just hop on and play Hydro Hopper, deck out my igloo, and just chill and de-stress from work with a childhood fave of mine. Sure, things are definitely different from how they used to be from the last time I played and just my childhood in general, but it's still the same old experience and the same amount of fun. And after all that and having a great time playing despite my acknowledgements of it being somewhat different from my original time playing it, I stepped away and realized that I felt extremely good playing this game. And first of all, I wanted to know if there was any logical reason for why I wanted to play this game so hard, and secondly, why I felt so good after playing a children's game. And well, funnily enough, there actually is an answer to that. In an article titled "The Psychology of Video Game Nostalgia," researchers in psychology and consumer behavior have studied this, and what they found out suggests that video games may have the potential to elicit more nostalgia than any other medium. Nostalgia basically acting as a way to get rid of sadness and feelings of loss, bumping up our moods essentially. In the article, during an interview, Dr. Filippo Cordaro said that on a basic level, recalling these positive memories simply puts us in a more positive mood. On a more complex level, recalling these experiences makes us feel a stronger sense of social connectedness with others. We've done some research looking at what people usually describe as a typical nostalgic experience, and find that people typically think about positive experiences in which the self is the protagonist, but they are surrounded and interacting with close others. In an article for The Guardian, Professor Nick Bauman reaffirms this idea as well. With nostalgia, you get sort of a bonus relatedness because you get to connect to yourself. You're replaying a game from a positive childhood memory. Those things can be particularly powerful for short-term stress release. In our research, we found that people who have social nostalgia memories of playing games with friends in the past, they feel connected to themselves and their friends in the past, and they also feel connected in the present. So basically, nostalgia and social connections are actually in a way intertwined with one another, which makes sense for why Club Penguin gave me that strong nostalgia feeling. It's an MMO, it lets you talk to people, and it kinda is just an overall a social game. I mean, my memories playing with my friends definitely attest to that. There's also the mental pick-me-up aspect, where we compare our lives now to how they were back then when we first started playing these games, and arguably, most of us have done more than we did in our childhood, so that makes us feel good. This sentiment is also backed in an article from Wired through an interview with psychiatrist Michael Feldmer. By looking at the past, one can sometimes look to the future even when getting bogged down by the pain pain of the present. If someone can be reminded of a better time, they may hold out hope for the future. And typically we also do better in games than we used to, taking less time on bosses, getting higher scores, you name it, there's more than likely growth to be seen from how you used to play in comparison to now, which can add to that hope for the future. So to summarize, nostalgia for video games gives us a massive mood boost, one that can actually only be achieved with video games due to the intricacies of video games themselves. For Club Penguin, it's the social factors as well as the competition factors, which, when you really look at it, are kind of the core of the game itself. You got to talk to people from all over the country and beyond, plus play games either against yourself or against other players. It's like the perfect recipe to invoke nostalgia in our brains from our childhood, while also making us feel good about ourselves now. All in all, Club Penguin nostalgia really isn't a bad thing, and I'd actually argue it's a good thing, considering I now have something positive to do during the week to get me through my work weeks. Boosts my mood, makes me feel better, I come in a happy little employee. The only downside to all this is that these are kind of temporary nostalgia fixes, because all of these are technically illegal in a sense, and Disney has taken down every single one of them. With all that being said, am I encouraging you to download new Club Penguin, which is a big no-no due to all that copyright stuff? Not really. However, if you're craving a nostalgia hit like I was, or just want to enjoy Club Penguin in a way you couldn't as a child, well, who am I to stop you from healing your inner child and practicing a good amount of self-care? That's clearly Disney's job to stop you, not mine. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this little rambly video essay of sorts. Can you tell I've been fixated on Club Penguin for the last couple of weeks? Because this is the fruit of that fixation. However, despite this video being packed full of nostalgia and information and all that, there is so much more to Club Penguin that I didn't get to talk about, or else this video would be like hours long. But until the next video, which will probably be another fixation of mine, or maybe something stupid from the internet, because we have not talked about the hell that is the internet in a while. I'm not sure which I'm doing yet, they're currently duking it out in my brain, and whichever wins gets to be the next video. But as I said, until then, I will see you guys later. Bye.